Hey YouTube! Rock device! That's what it says on the headstock of this guitar. It's an Aria Pro 2 Diamond Series rock device from 1987, made in Japan. Matsumoku built these right up till, well, I think they made this model only in 1987. I think 1988 there's some, but not very many guitars still coming out of Matsumoku. It's like the end of the, what I class as the golden era of Japanese guitars. The other thing I think about guitars in general is 1987 was after Steve Vai had his gem made. So after that, kind of all guitars kind of looked like a gem. So this is kind of the first year of all guitars looking like a gem, and you can pretty much still buy a guitar that looks exactly the same as this. Jackson, is that Jackson Soloist? Is pretty much this. So it's like that's just a super strat, really, isn't it? That pointy head. Yeah. So this is 1987, as I said. It's got the steel adjustable neck thing written on the back of the crossrod cover, the bolt-on neck. So Aria. Starting from the top, we've got a rosewood bound neck with shark fin inlays, pointy head, retainer bar, got the original locking Floydy Woydy things here, decent Japanese, probably made by Goto tuners. The hardware's probably all Goto actually. Got a Floyd Rose, a similar Floyd Rose to what's on the first Floyd Rose I ever thought wasn't shit, which was on my Washburn G15V, because I've had Floyd Roses before, mostly in cheap guitars to be honest, and they're just a nightmare, just avoid them at all costs. But the first one I got on that Washburn was pretty much the same as this, and it's a good one. And it's like the difference between one that works and one that doesn't work is ridiculous. I've been whamming this a fair amount and it stays in tune. It goes back to where it's meant to be. It's like amazing. You don't. It's like I don't know why they don't. All Floyd Roses don't have this. You know, normally you've got to cut the end of the string off, cut the ball off the end of the string, and you've got you unscrew this thing. There's a wee metal block that always falls out, and you've got to kind of wedge the string in there and then tighten up. This one you put the strings in the back like you do in a Strat. You know, they go into the block, and there's a wee flap there. There's a wee black flap with an Allen bolt holding it down. So you open up the flap, you stick the string through, and then you pull the flap down and screw it down, and that's it. And so there's no cutting the ends off strings. Which is a stupid system anyway. I have a very similar. This one just says manufactured under Floyd Rose patents on it, whereas I've got a very, very similar bridge on the Washburn which says, I think it's F600 it says on it, and there's also a Yamaha, an Aria. I've got a Mega Metal, which is a 1986 I think, which has pretty much, it looks identical to this apart from it says Act 3 on it. So I don't know whether they were making them themselves or, as I said, probably Goto. I think they made most of the Japanese hardware at this time. Yeah, so the neck on it's how would you describe it? It seems to be quite thin back to front, but it's quite wide and quite a sort of shallow, quite a wide actually. I had a shot of a Gibson SG. It's not far off this neck profile. It's not like a skinny Ibanez neck. Maybe not that unlike a skinny Ibanez neck actually. It's not as square. Anyway, I'm no good at that. I'm no good at describing neck things. It's a C profile, a sort of flat C, I think is what you would describe it as. 22 frets. I painted 2 red stripes on it that go all the way through. They actually go in below the pickups as well and through the string cavity if you're ever in there looking. Because I had a guitar in a Jason Ellis, I think, guitar and to get his pickup swapped. It was a Squire with a strange headstock, like a Squire Showmaster, which actually doesn't look unlike this. And the 2 red stripes, as soon as I saw it, I was like, wow, that looks amazing, I'm copying that. So therefore it's copied. I didn't get this, it didn't have pickups and it didn't have knobs or volume pots. So the pickups are, I put a quad rail, which was meant for a Buckycaster. So it's like 4 pickups in one sort of thing. And then in the bridge and in the neck, it's a Yamaha from, I'm not actually sure what guitar it was. I think it was an RGX But if you know Yamaha, you know that they've got a slightly thinner string spacing down here. So the bridge pickup poles are slightly closer together than they are on a normal bridge pickup. So that's a bridge pickup that's in here to try and combat the fact that this obviously is 4 coils and is an absolute monster. So it's an absolute monster in the bridges, in the neck as well. And because Yamahas are slightly thinner string spacing, the string spacing works out exactly the same for a bridge pickup or a Yamaha as it does for a neck pickup in this guitar. So they're perfectly lined up. But I think this is technically a bridge pickup, so a high output. It's like a 14k or something output on it. I didn't actually measure this, but it'll be more than that. Volume, tone. That's the original 3-way switch, which is it's like a mini switch, just for your pickup selector. And I put a push-pull pot on the volume control, which splits the quad rail down to a dual rail. So it doesn't go single coil because it's a rock machine, not rock device. But it goes to single, which is a little bit less extreme. Really anything else to talk about? Yes, the reason I painted it the red stripes on, apart from the fact it looks really cool and it was a bit boring because it was just a plain black guitar, is the previous owner had gouged out a bit here, like with a drill or something, to try and so you could bend the Floyd Rose up, get a higher up bend, but it looked pretty bad. So what I did was I filled it and painted it black, and then I put these 2 red stripes over the top of it so you can't see it, but you can see it if you hold it up to the light. You know, it's not. So this camera's really good. If you can sort of see, it's a wee bit indented there, but it's not structural in any way. The bridge posts were fine. They hadn't been touched, so the whole bridge is sitting on them, so it hasn't affected it sonically or structurally at all. I just thought it looked rubbish. That's why I put the red stripes on it. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much us. I just did a video that was 25. I'm already at 7 minutes. I've not even started playing yet. Right, so I'm just going to play a couple of chords on it and not. So this is the quad rail bridge pickup. Neck. Both. But this is as a dual, it's just a humbucker, not a quad. Okay, it sounds more like a normal guitar. Neck pickup as a dual rail, not a quad. Yeah, so this guitar plays all the way, and well, I'm not playing well today, so that's why I'm going to try and cut this video a bit short. 9:40 already. Yeah, so I'm going to get rid of this one, purely for the reason that I already have a rock device, but this one's been pretty severely modded, not by me. It's got a big brass brick here instead of a Floyd Rose, and it's got a crazy roller system up at the top of the head there, and I don't think this is worth very much money. Basically, it's why I'm keeping that one and not this one. I thought about swapping over the brass block, but okay, this one now looks cooler with its red stripes on it. The rock device, they're not exactly common. I have seen a couple, well, let's be honest, I've seen two exactly the same as this one and that one, since I started looking at Japanese guitars in the last sort of 5 years. No other ones have come up. You do get other models of rock device which don't look like this. Because that was me, there was a time I was thinking that one, in fact, basically until I saw this one, I thought that one had a different body. You know, it was a parts put together from two different guitars. The thing that made me think it was the same is the fact that the neck's exactly the same colour, which made me think it's got to be an original piece. But you can get, there's a rock device which looks very much like this, apart from it's more of a Strat, so it's not as Jackson-y here, you know, it's more Strat shaped. You can look them up on eBay and stuff, but there's very few of them kicking about. You occasionally see them in Reverb for, you know, 700 quid or something. Yeah, so coming up for sale soon. Didn't do much of it. 12 minutes. I'm trying to keep videos down below 10 minutes. Apparently the YouTube algorithms don't put videos that are more than 10 minutes up very high in everyone's list. So it's like, so I've failed that again. So if you're wanting a good Floyd Rose, like an actual good Floyd Rose that returns to pitch, not like DX, that's awful, right? Much better than that. And basically it's Matsumoku. So although it does look like a modern guitar, it's built like an 80s Japanese one, and you can feel it. It's a different quality level from what you get now. Not that I'm knocking, you know, Indonesian made and Korean made guitars, but when Japan were on form, like after a certain amount of time, I think maybe about 1980, between sort of, well, 80 onwards, Japan made the best guitars in the world. After sort of 87, 88, they still made the best guitars in the world, but they didn't make affordable guitars. They only made your ESPs at £3,000, which are still, obviously I've never actually played one, but I assume they're the sort of this quality. And then all the sort of cheaper stuff went to Korea, and although you do get a lot of Aria Super Strats which don't look dissimilar to this, the Korean ones, they are nothing like, they look the same, but they're not the same guitar, not by a long shot. I've played a lot of them, and it's like, Aria did the same, Washburn did the same thing. They kind of just took their legacy of making the most amazing guitars and just went and didn't bother. So the reason you can get guitars like this and the Washburns cheap is because people remember the sort of late 80s, early 90s guitars that looked like this that weren't good. Rock and roll. Actually, I saw a Mini today when I was out driving. It was exactly this colour. It was black with two red stripes down the middle. I thought about coming back, getting the guitar and going and taking a photo of it, leaning against it, but I didn't know whose car it was, and they might have thought it was some sort of lunatic. Rock and roll.